Hey, what's going on, welders? Natalia Cortez, Let It Shine Welding. Whenever we're working with stick welding, specifically 7018, we have one good shot, man, of striking up, establishing an arc, creating our puddle, and starting our weld. However, if we're welding and for whatever reason we have to stop midway, quarter of the way to where the weld's not complete, but we still have some electrode left, whenever we stop that weld, do what we got to do, clean it up, fix it up, and then go back and re-weld it, that flux has already formed a cap pretty much on the electrode. So now we don't have metal to metal contact. Whenever we strike up, we have one good shot, like I mentioned, but if we have to stop, that flux creates a cap. So now we find ourselves having to beat through that flux to access that metal, go back in, have a restart, metal to metal contact, create an arc, establish a puddle, start your weld. So with this technique that I'm gonna show you guys, the whip technique, whenever I'm having to stop my weld midway through my electrode, I still have pretty good electrode left to use up. I'm gonna whip it out to get that access slag off of the electrode, tip of the electrode, so that before I go back in to restart my weld, I can use my gloves and just knock off that access slag. Allowing me to access that metal piece so that whenever I go back in, I have that same one good start, metal to metal contact, boom, strike up, create my puddle, create my weld, and start my weld, versus having to try to fight through that flux or having trouble starting up that arc. Because I don't have metal to metal contact. So we're gonna get into that. When you go to start up that 7018, take advantage of that one good start. One of the biggest mistakes that I see people doing is trying to tap that electrode on their work table or scratch it on their work table and then go back to their coupons, still having issues striking up. Once you break through that flux, whether it's tapping it, scratching it, that doesn't mean you're gonna have a good start right away. It actually makes it twice as hard, as you guys can see right here, leaving you with arc marks. So once you break through that flux, again, you have to take your time with that restart. That flux plays a big role in our puddle, in our weld. It actually shields that puddle, preventing us from getting porosity. So if you're getting porosity, that means you're losing that flux from all the tapping, scratching, and now all you have is metal. So when you start your weld is not being shielded by that flux, causing porosity. So take your time with that startup. Treat it as if you only have one shot at it. I've linked another video below that shows you how to use your non-dominant hand to assist you with that startup for an easier start, restart, tie-in, better control of that electrode and puddle. Hope this video helped you guys out. God bless. Let it shine, baby.